Joining us from LA is Areva Martin. She's a civil rights attorney and legal affairs commentator. Areva, thanks for being with me again. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you, Ben?
I'm good. Thank you for staying up for me. Appreciate it. Let's start with the basics. The judge has thrown out Drake's lawsuit, but why? What's the key legal reason behind that decision?
Well, the basic thing that the judge cited in the opinion is that the comment calling Drake a pedophile and the statements about Drake in this diss track are statements of opinion, and that Kendrick Lamar's opinions, his artistic expressions, are protected speech under the First Amendment. Look, Ben, this was always a very interesting lawsuit. You had Drake, who started this battle with Kendrick Lamar by first dissing him, sue not Kendrick for the Not Like Us album, but suing his own record label, Universal Music. That has always been the strangest part of this legal action, because both Kendrick Lamar and Drake are signed with the same record label. A lot of folks in the industry thought this was just a way for Drake to gain some leverage in his contract negotiations, that he never believed that this would be a successful lawsuit.
Well, it hasn't been so far. But the judge called the lyrics non-actionable opinion. For people like me who aren't lawyers, what does that actually mean?
Well, it means that you can state an opinion about someone. You can say that you believe someone is ugly, or someone's not talented, or someone, even in this situation, is a pedophile. But the judge says, look, no person listening to this is going to draw a conclusion, any reasonable conclusion, that these are statements of fact. That in the hip hop genre in particular, hyperbole is always used. Exaggerated language is just a form of artistic expression. And unless you can prove that this was a verifiable fact that happened to be false, the judge says this is not defamation. For this to have been an actionable claim, this would have had to have been a statement of fact that damaged the reputation of Drake, and that was done maliciously, because Drake is a public figure. And the court said all the elements need to prove defamation against someone like Drake just weren't met in this lawsuit.
As you mentioned there, Drake didn't sue Kendrick Lamar directly. He did go after UMG, the label that released and promoted the track. Do you think the results would have been different had he sued Lamar directly?
Absolutely not. The same outcome would have occurred no matter who Drake sued. Again, it was always questionable as to why he filed this lawsuit in the first place. What was his motive? He had smart lawyers. He's got, probably some of the best lawyers in the business. And you have to imagine that those lawyers knew that the chances of prevailing on the merits of this lawsuit were really insignificant. Slim, I would say almost to no chance of succeeding. And again, this is what happens in the hip hop world. One artist makes a diss track, the other artist responds in turn, and they go back and forth. And in the end, all of the folks involved, their profiles are raised. They sell more music. They sell more concert tickets. So this is pretty well known, and you don't see these kind of lawsuits filed. At one level, this felt a little personal, like Drake felt like this was more personal than usual in this kind of dissing world that happens in the hip hop genre.
The judge said that in a rap battle, listeners don't take these lyrics literally. How could that legally impact diss tracks in the future? Can we all now say whatever we want about someone as long as it's on a beat?
Well, I think what the judge is saying is that there's a high bar, right? There's a high standard to meet when you are suing an artist for making, again, really exaggerated statements. An artist who is stating their opinion about another artist. The court was very concerned about artistic expression and quelling free speech. The judge didn't want to wade into that lane where basically, controlling what artists can say on tracks like the Not Like Us album. So I think the opinion in this case was absolutely spot on. I think the judge got the law right. I think the interpretation of the law to these facts was accurate. And I think it sends a message to artists like Drake that if you're going to make diss tracks yourself, if you're going to wade into this lane, don't expect the courts to back you up. This isn't the kind of action that should be before a court. A lot of Drake's fans say, hit back, fire back. Make another diss track about Kendrick Lamar if you had issues with, what he said about you and Not Like Us.
Yes, well, the fight isn't over yet, so let's see what happens next. But for now, Areva Martin, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.